And welcome to the Wednesday, September 11th, 2019 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. The Planning and Zoning Commission is a citizen advisory group to the City Council. They are charged with making recommendations concerning land use plans, planning processes, and/or on matters of plan implementation. All regular meetings of the Planning and Zoning Commission are recorded for record retention and prior to transcription. Prior to this meeting, we conducted a clarification meeting. The following is the agenda of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Discussion and commission action will be limited to those items on the agenda. Any citizen who wishes to address the commission shall first be recognized by the chair and shall give his or her name and address for the record. If a citizen wishes to read documentation of any sort to the commission, he or she shall first seek permission from the chair. Oral testimony may be restricted to no more than 3 minutes per person. Aislinn, will you call the roll, and if each commission member would state their name, what area you are from, and anything you need to disclose.
Jared Burnt.
My name is Jared Burnt. I live in the Highland area, and I made a site visit to agenda item number 3, and I have nothing else to report.
Jack Moore.
My name's Jack Moore, and I live in the Old Town District, and I made a site visit to agenda item 3, and I have nothing else to report.
Dorothy Ricks.
My name is Dorothy Ricks. I live in the Alameda District. I too made a site visit for number 3 here, and I have nothing else to report.
Julia Sanders.
My name is Julia Sanders. I live in the South Park area. I completed a site visit to agenda item number 3 and have nothing further to report.
Kaylee White.
Yes. My name is Kaylee White. I am currently living in the university area. I have not yet made a site visit, and I have nothing further to report.
Right, so agenda item number 2, approval of minutes. The commission may wish to approve the minutes from the clarification meeting on May 22nd, 2019, and the clarification and regular meetings on July 10th, 2019. Are there any discussion on the minutes?
We looked at them, and I think they look really good.
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve those minutes.
I second that motion.
Wonderful. Aislinn, would you call the vote?
Jack Moore.
Yes.
Burnt.
Yes.
Ricks.
Yes.
Sanders.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Motion carries. Agenda item number 3, a preliminary plat for Crestview Cove subdivision. Ryan Satterfield of Pocatello Creek Development Company, represented by RMES, has submitted a preliminary plat application to subdivide 2.66 acres, more or less, into 11 residential lots. The property is located west of Mariah Way, south of Monson Street, and north of Crestview Estates, Division 1. May we hear from the applicant?
Good evening, Commissioners. Great to be here. I'm Ryan Satterfield, 3141 Trevor Street. Just a little clarification on the application. The ground is owned by Pocatello Creek Development, but the application should actually be under Satterfield Royalty and Development as the developer who is purchasing the property from our land holding company, Pocatello Creek Development. So just as clarification there. What we have, and I apologize for not having the Google Earth and the display there, but this one is fairly simple. Small cul-de-sac coming off of a recently developed street, Monson Street, which is part of our Crestview Estates Division 2. The plan for this is to have 10 units, residential units that are townhome style units there. If any of you are familiar, as you first come up Satterfield Drive, there is a project that we did a number of years ago called Partridge Cove. And as you're first coming off Satterfield Drive, it's just off to the left, coming up from Pocatello Creek. Anyway, that project was fairly popular when we did it. We've not done a whole lot of these. The concept being it's an association run property where lawns and snow removal will be done by an association. Kind of appealing to the empty nester that might have a home here and a home somewhere else and want to have less maintenance. And in the back of this project, you probably noticed there is a lot, the largest lot there in the back that is dedicated for stormwater retention. Our intention with that is to have it owned by the association there, and then it can also serve as open space for the residents of this particular subdivision. For them to use, we plan on landscaping that and have it being a nice open area, and then the association, if they choose, could even further any improvements on there, whether it be a garden shed or things that they might want to use, some type of pavilion or play area, where those storm areas can kind of serve as dual purpose for that. From the items that were listed in the engineering memorandum, I just had one clarification. So this is going to be the page 1 of 2 under development conditions, number 6. It talks about the water meter box location shown between lots 5 and 6, block 1. I believe that should be lot 4 and 5. If you look at the water meter location, I think it's just a clerical error there, but my understanding is that is the one between, no, sorry, it is lot 5 and 6. What I'm meaning to say, I guess, is there is another water meter between lots 4 and 5 that we also plan on moving outside of that driveway area. The one that is between lot 5 and 6 is not in a driveway area, and so I believe that those two were just confused. But in any case, we plan on moving that over, and then that line that will service the irrigation for the common area will likely run through the easement. It was drawn outside of the easement, but being a preliminary plat, we'll make those adjustments. And the other item of clarification that I wanted was item number 5 there, where it talks about fences are prohibited within all the stormwater and maintenance easements. And I just wanted to clarify that it was for only those areas that are stormwater and maintenance easements. It is calling for, in item 1 of that section, that a 20-foot stormwater easement be provided along the west boundary line. And we agree with this and don't have a problem with that. It's also kind of understood to be that way, where the plat will read that within all setback areas there are stormwater easements, as noted in the previous section under item 7, that all lots in this subdivision are subject to a drainage easement equal to the primary structure setback, which the rear yards have a 20-foot setback, and so that is understood. I just wanted to clarify that that would not necessarily be classified as a stormwater and maintenance easement, thus eliminating the ability to have any fences in those backyards. If it's just strictly a stormwater easement, I'm in agreement with that and fine with having that easement be there. Just don't, there's really no need for maintenance, and I just wanted to clarify that fences will be planned along those back lot lines. And that is all I have. Are there any questions that I can answer for you?
This doesn't have anything to do with the article that was in the paper recently, right?
Correct. No,
Okay,
this is a
totally different property.
project. Yep.
Okay.
Dopey?
Thank you. I had a question about the water retention
Okay.
and the large capacity on the one that's the large capacity. In another builder, is this something that's normal? I mean, would you have a normal development? Would you have a large capacity water setback where it's as large as it is, and then you're talking about putting in the different elements, I guess, of a place for storage and those kind of things. Is that, you're understanding me? Because I'm not understanding me. That's good.
I'm not quite sure I totally understand the question.
That's good.
If I understand correctly, you're asking, is it normal to have a pond of this size for the development?
Yes.
So this pond actually serves a lot of the other areas. Monson Street as it goes up, Legacy as it comes down.
Okay.
That water collects and then is set to kind of be, this is the retaining area for that water. So very little water from this actual development is what is going to end up there. Most of it is from upstream.
Okay.
But in order to maintain the area, we feel like the best way to maintain it is to have it turned over to the association. The city will have an easement over it to be able to maintain the stormwater portion of the structure, but to maintain the landscaping and whatnot, the association will do that.
Okay. Very good. You answered the question.
Okay, very good.
Do you foresee any problems with purchasing the property?
No. So Pocatello Creek Development Company is a land holding company owned by the exact same owners as Satterfield Realty and Development.
Oh.
And so all of our properties are done that way, where we have a land holding company, and then Satterfield Realty and Development comes in and purchases the property from the land holding company, but they're owned by the same. So.
Okay. Not that I understand why, but
Sure, yeah, there's a long story. Yeah.
Any other questions for the applicant?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. Carl, can we have the staff report, please?
Good evening. Carl Anderson for the record. You have before you for consideration the preliminary plat for the Crestview Cove subdivision submitted by Ryan Satterfield of Pocatello Creek Development Company, or Satterfield Realty. The engineer listed on the application is Rocky Mountain Engineering and Surveying. Subject property encompasses 2.66 acres, more or less, and is located south of Monson Street and north of Crestview Estates Division 1. The proposed subdivision will be accessed via the new cul-de-sac to be called Crestview Cove, accessed off Monson Street. The applicant is proposing to subdivide the property into 11 lots, one of which is proposed to be held in common by the homeowners association and dedicated to stormwater retention as discussed by the applicant. The proposed subdivision is zoned residential low density. The remaining 10 lots are proposed to be utilized for townhomes with one townhome dwelling on each lot. The RL zoning district requires minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet per townhome dwelling, and the smallest buildable lot is 6,131 square feet. Staff has reviewed the application and finds the proposed Crestview Cove subdivision is compliant with all applicable standards of City Code 16.20.050, assuming compliance with all conditions listed in the staff report. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
Any questions for Carl?
Ryan talked about moving utility lines, or there's going to be nothing. They weren't right here. Do you have any problems with the way he talked about it all?
No, and I'll make those notes for our Public Works Department so we can get that corrected. So, and same also goes for the clarification on the fencing, not located with any stormwater and maintenance easements. We'll get that clarification as well. I do not believe it's the intent that applied to all stormwater easements on site, just the access and maintenance specifically.
So you're two on the same page?
Okay, wonderful. Any other questions for Carl? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any discussion on the proposal?
seems pretty straightforward and, no big surprises or,
I think Satterfield Builders have done a great job in the areas that they've developed up there. I think this is a great addition.
Okay.
I actually really like Partridge Cove. Just want to put that out there. It's very nice.
Well, I would entertain a motion.
I motion to recommend the approval of the preliminary plat application from Ryan Satterfield of Pocatello Creek Development Company for Crestview Cove subdivision, finding the application does meet the standards for approval, chapter 16.20.050 of Pocatello Municipal Codes, with all the conditions, including the staff recommendations that you guys talked about, which is fencing and utilities.
I second the motion.
Wonderful. Aislinn, could we call a vote, please?
Burnt,
Yes.
Ricks,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Motion carries, and that will conclude our planning and zoning meeting for tonight. Thank you.